I want to quickly talk to you about vendor management. I want to explain to you how to get better products at lower prices, how to find the best vendor management software, and how to really cultivate a tighter relationship with your vendors this year. This will help you a lot when it comes to inventory management, among other things. So, here are the generalities I want you to really pay attention to. When you think about vendor management, you are thinking about the long run, the long term, okay? During the early years of your retail business, you might actually make all your products yourself and be the only vendor. You may spend Sunday afternoon, let's say, curating essential oils and hand making soap. You might work on holidays, or you are working hard. But the thing is, as you scale your business, those late nights and weekends spent making soap take their toll. To keep up with customer demand, you may actually source custom made soap, let's say, from multiple vendors. So, but instead of making soap, I'm just taking this soap example as let's say as a hypothesis. Okay, so instead of staying up late, manually handling orders, tracking inventory, and managing invoices, you actually might want to automate everything. You might actually think about actually a software. Your growing retail business deserves effective vendor management software, and so this is kind of important. So when you think about vendor management, think about the process where retailers such as you and me actually choose their suppliers, negotiate deals, and monitor their performance. The goal here is to secure quality products at competitive prices and maintain a reliable supply chain. So effective vendor management improves products availability, reduces cost, and improves also customer satisfaction. So vendor relationship management is important because it really helps you really over time source better products at good prices. Okay, and so you can actually use tools to kind of help you out. So how do vendor management software tools help? Well, you have with the right tool, of course, the tool has to be in sync with your operations. But with the right tool, you will have increased efficiency and automation, enhanced communication and collaboration with vendors, improved vendor performance monitoring and analytics. You can have strengthened risk management and compliance. So as you begin purchasing goods from vendors, you need to identify ways to manage risks and ensure compliance. You also have cost optimization and spend visibility. You can also have a faster, higher quality vendor onboarding. So let me give you a few steps here. When you think about the vendor management, how do you manage vendors effectively? How do you put up the right strategy in place when it comes to vendor management? So to get the best out of your vendor partnerships, it's actually important to follow a few best practices. So so first thing first, you want to select vendors strategically. It's not about just choosing the first vendor that comes knocking on your door. Now you want to be strategic. You want to be methodical. You want to be thorough when it comes to the due diligence that leads to you choosing a vendor. So before you start working with vendors, it's important to carefully select those who fit your business. They have to fit your business, okay? They have to understand your operations. They have to understand the supply chain. You have to understand your target audience. So one way to do so is to create a review process. So what you want to do here is that you want to have a standardized review process that helps you select and onboard vendors, okay? And so it's one of those things where you want to really make sure that the vendors understand your products, your target audience, but you also want to understand their capabilities, their costs, their turnaround times, and quality also, okay? And you want to really automate the process. You want to develop a standardized review process to evaluate each vendor's credibility and ensure they would be a good long-term partner for your growing business. So you also want to prioritize risk management. So it's one of those things where you want to consider your vendor's compliance as well. So the laws and standards your business must follow will depend on your location and the type of goods you are selling. Okay, so there are certain industries that are more regulated than others. For instance, healthcare. So risk management and compliance are paramount to you, because you have to really understand that you do not want to be on the wrong side of the law. Also, you want to really communicate clearly. So if you are trying to really beef up your vendor management strategy, communication is really quite essential. Okay, so you want to explain to your staff and to let's say to your staff overall, that regular check-ins with vendors help eliminate misunderstandings and help everyone actually to be on the same page. Okay, because that's what you want. You want to keep everyone on the same page. You want to make sure that what the vendor is thinking is exactly what you're thinking, and vice versa. So you want to communicate with all kinds of vendors across the supply chain. And the thing is, don't really worry about over communicating. Over communication is better, is actually better than misunderstanding. When you have over communication, let me repeat that. Over communication is better than misunderstanding, okay? So you want to provide weekly status updates on orders and monthly business reviews so that you are on the same page. That way you can eliminate issues down the road, okay? You can take the opportunity to gather feedbacks, let's say from your vendors on a regular basis. This can be a weekly basis or bi-weekly or fortnightly or monthly, okay? So that you can ensure that, again, you are continuously improving your relationship with them and also your partnership with them, okay? So communication actually is a two-way street, by the way. You want to ensure clarity about your expectations, and also you want to be attentive to your vendors' needs and feedback, okay? So that you can really, in the end, establish a strong foundation for trust, which is really critical for long-term collaboration. You also want to do another thing. You want to set KPIs for every vendor. Every single vendor has to have a set of KPIs. So setting KPIs helps your business and vendors meet realistic goals. At the start of any collaboration, you want to agree on KPIs with each vendor. Depending on your business, this could include maintaining on-time delivery or product quality standards. KPI, by the way, key performance indicators, okay? So to monitor performance, you want to set key performance indicators for each vendor tailored to the services they provide. Some examples include quality defects per order and average response times. So you want to track these KPIs in an online dashboard to stay on top of how each vendor performs versus the targets. So this will hold your vendors accountable. So let me talk to you about the top tools here. When you think about vendor management, what are the top four vendor management software tools? Okay, so the first one is you want to think about Shopify. Everybody knows Shopify, but Shopify does way more than just being an e-commerce platform. Shopify can be a sophisticated vendor management platform if used properly. Okay, you gotta use it properly. You gotta use it based on your niche also. And it doesn't matter if you have an online business or an offline business, Shopify can really adapt to your omni-channel strategy, okay? So Shopify offers a simple way for retailers to manage their vendors directly within the platform. The cool thing is you are able to very easily actually you can associate the vendors with the specific products, so you can track vendor supplies. Actually, you can track which vendor supplies every item. That's kind of cool because when it comes to inventory evaluation and inventory accuracy, you want to have this sort of granularity, and Shopify luckily helps you in that sense. So in the end, you can have a better overview of your supplier relationships and allow your team members to restock popular products. So when you assign vendors to products, you can quickly analyze sales trends and evaluate each vendor's performance. And so this vendor data helps you make better decisions about commissions or incentives. So that's really good from a scalability point of view. So the key features you can have with Shopify, you can easily monitor stock levels for products from different vendors. You can quickly find vendors You can find vendor information by sorting and filtering based on different criteria. You can assess actually vendor reliability and product quality to optimize your supplier relationships. And you can create reports to analyze vendor related data, helping you make informed decisions about your inventory and sales strategies. So this is kind of cool, especially from a scalability point of view. And in terms of pricing, you have a pricing that starts at about $29 per month. If you're thinking about vendor management, another tool I want you to really explore this year is KissFlow Procurement Cloud. Okay, and this is a pretty sophisticated tool that you can actually use as a retailer. Not a problem. Good thing is the UI and the UX, the user experience and the user interface have been thought methodically, so you do not have a steep learning curve. Nothing really complicated here. So KissFlow Procurement Cloud is actually designed for retailers who need a robust tool to manage their vendor relationships at scale. What this tool really does is that automate the procurement process, making it easier to handle everything from purchase orders to vendor contracts. And this is kind of cool because it gives you the opportunity to optimize your inventory across the board, especially if you have inventory across multiple geographies. An idea of what really works and what doesn't work. So spend analytics are helpful for getting detailed visibility into spending across all departments so you can make informed purchasing decisions. So if you are tired of all the admin that goes with new vendor relationships, well, good thing is that KissFlow can help you out. When you are onboarding new vendors, it's very easy to create custom approval workflows and a centralized contract repository. So that's really good. What are the key features here? With the KissFlow Procurement Cloud, you can create, send, and track purchase orders with ease. You can gain insight into your spending patterns to better control cost and budget efficiently. You can keep all vendor information in one place and track interactions, performance, and compliance. You can automate the entire procurement process from request to purchase to actually save time and reduce errors, especially in the long run. And you can also customize dashboards to keep important metrics front and center for a better decision making. So this is kind of cool. In terms of pricing, KissFlow is a little expensive because the pricing starts at $1,500 per month. If you're looking for a vendor management software tool, I want you to think about SAP Fieldglass. And Fieldglass is a great product from SAP, by the way. And what it does is that it's really great because it helps you consolidate your vendor management into your inventory management in a very seamless manner. So SAP Fieldglass is a versatile procurement software that's actually helpful for retailers who want to oversee and optimize their supplier relationships. The thing is that SAP Fieldglass is part of the SAP ecosystem. In other words, you have an ERP. So it's really vendor management / inventory management at a very advanced level. Okay. So the good thing about the SAP Fieldglass is that it excels in managing inventory from everything from inventory to contract negotiation to performance evaluations. That's kind of cool. And highlights include a project management dashboard that governs your vendor's statement of work. So detailed analytics let you monitor timelines and qualify to and actually quality. You can monitor quality to help ensure products arrive on time and are high quality. This really helps you optimize your supply chain actually over time. So this is really fantastic. So what are the key features here? When you think about when you think about SAP Fieldglass, you have the ability to use the software to access advanced analytics, so you can gain insights into vendor activities. So from a vendor intel point of view, you are really you'll be really happy. You can track and analyze supplier performance to ensure quality and reliability across the board once again. And you can manage contracts within a centralized system that keeps track of terms and compliance. You can identify and mitigate risks associated with suppliers to protect your business operations. Okay, that's really good from a scalability point of view. And you can facilitate better communication and collaboration with vendors through integrated communication tools. So in terms of pricing, packages are tailored to each business. Okay, so you're gonna have to contact SAP Fieldglass, their customer support, for more details. So they will ask you a few questions about your operations, about your retail operations, of course, before giving you a custom quote. So something to really look out for. I mean, fantastic. If you're looking for a vendor management software tool, I want you to think about Procurify. Procurify is a fantastic tool to really consider this year also. And the cool thing about Procurify is that it's a user-friendly procurement tool that actually simplifies retailer vendor relations. This is a tool that really allows you to have a clear idea about where you stand with your vendor management strategy. Okay, should you go with one vendor? Should you not go with them? I mean, it tells you a lot of things based on KPIs, based on deliverables, based on criteria that you have originally set within the software. And Procurify actually streamlines the entire procurement process and ensures that your business can actually track its spending across the board. This is kind of cool, especially if you have retail operations at various geographies. Having the ability to go through Procurify and get things done rapidly is kind of cool. So within Procurify, you have a lot of helpful features. For instance, you have the ability to integrate external supplier catalogs into Procurify, which really allows you to order items more quickly and easily. And the cool thing is you can also store centralized vendor records so your team can make renewal decisions, negotiate terms, and assess risk. So what are the key features here? You are able, within Procurify, you are able to submit and approve purchase requests quickly from the platform. So everything happens from the platform. You don't have to actually open several windows. Everything happens from the platform. You can keep all your vendor information organized and accessible, enhancing actually relationship management over time. You can monitor and control your spending with detailed insights into where your money goes. See, it's one of those things where when you think about inventory or supply chain in general, you are looking at a pretty quintessential element here in your supply chain and also your balance sheet optimizations, because inventory is an asset, okay? And you also want to customize approval workflows to ensure purchases are always within budget and policy. And Procurify helps you do that. And you can also access real-time data and reports to make better informed decisions about your procurement strategies. In terms of pricing, you have to contact actually Procurify, because packages are tailored to each business. So you gotta really reach out to customer service for a bespoke price this year. So let me close to this conversation with a strategy that you need to think about when you actually are contemplating vendor management. See, the thing is, using a vendor management system will help you scale up your retail business more efficiently. So instead of trying to hunt down that one supplier contract or track vendor sales, for instance, you will find all these important details in one central platform. Whether you go with Shopify, KissFlow, SAP Fieldglass, Procurify, or another tool, you have this centrality element, this holistic approach. So the best vendor management system is one that makes your life easier. So whether you manage 5 vendors or hundreds, vendor management software is actually the right choice, especially when it comes to helping you optimize inventory from different geographies. Okay, so now how do you mitigate potential risks and ensure compliance when working with vendors? It's one of those things where you need to have a method, you need to have a procedure. Okay, to mitigate risks and ensure compliance when working with vendors, start by carefully selecting reputable vendors and clearly defining contract terms. You want to regularly monitor vendor performance and compliance with standards. Use vendor management software to keep track of all activities and maintain detailed records. This will help you actually spot potential issues early on and address them quickly. so that you can keep your business safe and compliant. That's what you want, right? You want to keep your business safe and compliant. Now, there are some common challenges in vendor management. You have inconsistent product quality, late deliveries, and communication issues. So to overcome these issues, you want to establish clear expectations and contracts with your vendors. You want to regularly review their performance and maintain open lines of communication. Use also a vendor management software to streamline processes and keep everything organized. That's what you want. You want to keep everything organized right off the bat. So to basically have to establish effective communication and collaboration with vendors, you want to have regular updates, clear expectations. You want to use technology and you want to build relationships. So here's a quote. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about vendor management. I gave you the generalities, the steps, the top tools, the strategy, and now the coda. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.